The quest for the championship 4 continues, and this is virtual Talladega. While the reality series is still determining the winner of the Yellowwood 500, the boys of the Adrenaline iRacing League are set for their quest for the Relax Modeling 300. Welcome to the Relax Remodeling 300, presented by LSR TV, your home for sim racing on this Sunday evening. I am Wesley Outland. Joined alongside is Brett Rolls, Charles Wooten, our executive producer. Always a great production as the Relax Remodeling 300 is ready to go in the round of 8. One winner. Nick Massey won last week at Iowa, but he's not in the points. A chance for a driver in the final 8 to advance to the championship 4 to go to Phoenix, but you got to survive, Brett, Talladega.
Yeah, absolutely. It's anybody's ball game when we come to Talladega. The restrictor plate racing, everybody caught up in the draft. I mean, you can have 30 to 35 cars, depending on car count, running bumper to bumper with maybe only inches of gap in between them. So, it's going to be interesting to see who plays with who regarding points and everything like that within the field. A lot to make and a lot to break coming from this race, Wesley.
Yeah, practice is ongoing right now as the drivers are preparing for their wrap-up of their 30-minute practice session. Then they will have qualifying to set the stage for the Relax Remodeling 300. This race will be 113 laps. The stage caution will fall after lap 34. I know it says stage caution. It's actually caution on lap number 34. I had to, Brett. He always gets on us. I had to get Charles on something. So, yeah, the stage caution will be on lap 34. So, hey, let's look at the weather for today's event, guys. In the fall of October, abundant sunshine. 78 degrees, 113 lap race, and 113 degrees for the track temp.
So it's
Brett is still laughing, I guess. Brett, are you with me, bud?
Yeah, I'm still here. It's a nice cool down here in Talladega.
The drivers are getting into place. They're getting ready to go. Again, this is going to be a good event here for the drivers of the Adrenaline iRacing League. Hey, let's look at the point standings as we move into this event. Going into this race, of course, right now, Shane Therian is leading the way. 4 wins, 3 poles, 9 top 5s, 11 top 10s, and 31 playoff points with 2 stage wins. He's the man out in front right now. Bronson Stafford right there along with him, tied at 4 wins. Sajara Mann is in 3rd. And then, of course, Trenton jumped 4th. If anything changes after tonight, that could totally fluctuate here, Brett. But right now, those are your 4 drivers that are looking to try to go to the championship 4. When we conclude, right now, those 4 having the opportunity to go to the championship. We do have some information we want to give you about some drivers that have been on the naughty list, for so to speak, and we're checking it twice. Christian Gomez back returning to the Adrenaline iRacing League Series here in the playoffs tonight. Of course, remember his win was encumbered back at Richmond after a race retaliation on the 61 of Bronson Stafford involving also bystanders on social media. He was disqualified from the Richmond event, 0 points earned. And tonight, he will start from the pit road at the start of the Michigan race for tonight's event here tonight at Talladega. So, by the way, it says Michigan because this penalty was actually going to be enforced at the Michigan event. He has not ran since Richmond, so tonight for that reason, Brett Rolls, he will have to start. And again, I got a lot of clarification on this. When the green flag comes out, he will be on pit road in his pit box. He has to wait 10 seconds, and then he can enter onto the racetrack. Braxton DeWeese, after his post-race retaliation on the 54 car of Tom Bourne last week at Iowa, he has been disqualified and has been suspended from tonight's event. So that is a tough break for these drivers. But, Brett, there is rules that are enforced virtual, just like in reality, sir.
Yeah, it's definitely going to hurt Braxton DeWeese being disqualified. That pretty much should take him out of contention of being able to battle for that top 4 cutoff. And, like you pointed out, he has to. The other driver has to wait 10 seconds on pit road. That is going to significantly hurt him at a track like Talladega, with how important drafting and being able to work together with somebody is going to play in a factor. The field's going to be able to have a lot more strength to their speed because of that draft, and he's just going to be one lonely little car. So if we go green flag and racing for a good 30-lap race out the get-go, he could end up being down a lap or two by all said and done if he can't find somebody to draft with.
Yeah, that's very true. As we're getting ready now to go with qualifying, there you see the number 46 machine. That is going to be Trenton Jump, as he will be the man to set the bar in his Ford Mustang down the 2.66 mile Talladega Super Speedway. As these drivers will now be greeted up to the 33 degrees of banking up in turns number 1 and 2 to 3 and 4, down to the 18 degrees of banking through the tri-oval here at the front straightaway. And always remember, Talladega is so unique. Their start-finish line is not like Daytona in the middle of the tri-oval. It goes all the way to the end of the tri-oval, to the entrance of exit pit road. You can have a shot to slingshot, bonsai, make a daring move, and get a chance to win. 57.403, lap 1 for Trenton Jump there, Brent.
Yeah, as you pointed it out, that tri-oval having just a little bit of an extension from there to the finish line. I can't tell you how many races, whether it be the Xfinity Series, the the Cup Series that we have now, the Monster Energy Cup, or truck races, that races have been won and lost in that coming through that tri-oval to the finish line.
There is merely 2 races remaining after tonight's event. There are 2 races remained here in the round of 8 for the recovery remodeling round of 8. Again, as relaxed remodeling round of 8. My apologies, but yes, Talladega tonight. Then Vegas is the final cutoff race. We'll take the 4 drivers, and they will battle for championship at Phoenix. But again, we still got a long way to go. As qualifying is still on track right now, as we're watching these drivers take time. There is again Trenton Jump, 51.555, and looks like currently Gretorix, Austin Gretorix will go to the top spot. Rodriguez also there. Again, getting ready. Jump, Coleman. There's Matthew Rodriguez in the car number 57. He's now second on the racetrack. We'll see what he can do. Currently 4th in qualifying, as his last lap was a 51.148. So that right now is his time. And by the way, it is officially October. Brett, happy birthday to you, bud. I know my birthday was on Thursday, October 1st. Your birthday was yesterday. And we also celebrate October not only as our birthdays, but also as an acknowledgement of Pink and Breast Cancer Awareness Month for the month of October. So you will see a lot of these drivers sporting pink on their race cars throughout the evening.
Yeah, as you can see, Matthew Rodriguez in that number 57 car on screen just a second ago. One of those cars out here that's definitely, got the pink all over it, supporting breast cancer for this race here at Talladega. Is now you're going to see the number 20 car of Andy McDowell make his way to the Speedway, as he's going to try to get in his best efforts here for a quick qualifying time. Is currently right now it looks like Coleman in the 9 machine is going to be on the quick time spot with a 51.074. So Coleman, the hottest driver through qualifying so far, Wesley. It's going to be pretty interesting to see if anybody can get down into the low O's that he's at, even though we have just about 10 to 12 cars left to qualify.
Yeah, but still a good amount of cars left to take time, as well as here comes Andy McDowell on the speedway in that number 20 machine, as these drivers are on course right now, qualifying here around the Talladega Super Speedway, preparing for the Relax Remodeling 300. As there is less than a minute remaining, it looks like the number 9 car, Coleman, is the fast man. Robert Kinney. Now, we haven't mentioned him winning any races in a while, but he was the winner in that number 34 car down at Daytona at the beginning of the season after that crazy finish. Restrictor plates. This is a restrictor plate race. We should see some crazy racing here. We could see also Robert Kinney return back to victory lane too there, Brett.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've seen it countless times, and whether it's, real racing with the Earnhardt family or, whether it's iRacing with, guys that are able to do well at Daytona, it usually is able to transition over to Talladega as well. But, just like you pointed out earlier, Wesley, super speedway and restrictor plate racing is a whole different type of animal than what you're, traditionally used to seeing here on the iRacing circuit and in the NASCAR circuit as well. You got a lot of cars trying to take up a little bit of space on the racetrack.
The field is gridding. We are about to introduce the starting lineup here in a couple of moments for the Relax Remodeling Round of 8, race number 2 in this series for 300 miles, 131 laps around here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Again, these drivers getting into place, getting in ready to go. And again, we will get ready for the starting lineup as, again, a couple of quick reminders. You've got drivers like like Gomez, again, will start in the pits. Also, in addition to that, the driver of Braxton DeWeese unable to be here for the race. With that said, here is the starting lineup ready to go for the Relax Remodeling here at Talladega, the Relax Remodeling 300. And we'll get ready to introduce the lineup here as here they come. Ready for the starting lineup. I don't have timing and scoring. That's what I messaged you about. We're trying to get timing and scoring here, guys. Just give us a few moments. We got a little hiccup here on timing and scoring. We're working on it. Give us a moment. And by the way, I think it's going to be Matt DiBenedetto winning his first NASCAR win. No, it's Denny Hamlin. So the checkered flag just fell for Denny Hamlin winning at Talladega, and now the big boys of the Adrenaline Series prepare for their event. All right, let's try it again now, Brett. On the pole, it is going to be the driver, the number 9 machine, Evan Coleman, fast qualifier. The 34, Robert Kinney, to his outside. That's row 1.
Row number 2 on the inside is going to be the 54 of Tom Bourne, and to his outside is going to be the 46 car of Trenton Jump.
Row number 3 will find Matt Dyer in the 88 machine and Andy McDowell in the 20. He'll start 6th.
Starting P number 7 is going to be the 61 machine of Bronson Stafford, and starting to his outside in the number 8, that's going to be Spencer Hardison.
Row number 5 will find Caleb Smith and Jacob Hopp. There's your top 10.
Starting 11th in the 98 is going to be Galvin Gretorix, and starting outside of him in P number 12 is going to be the 29 of Logan Breeke.
Dylan Brown, Iowa winner, Nick Massey, row 7. Sajara Mann and Tyler Stooksbury will make up row number 8. The rest of the lineup includes Gilberto Gomez, Tanner Johnson, Eric Stamp, Alex Walter, Austin Gretorix. That's your top 20. Then it's going to be Broxton Packard, Matthew Rodriguez, Jacob Grant, Christian Gomez, and again, Shane Therian. Remember, Christian Gomez has to start in his pit box for the 1 lap, the drop of the green flag. Once the green flag flies, he has 10 seconds, and he can enter onto the racetrack. Again, another driver, Braxton DeWeese, unable to start the race after post-race altercations with another car at Iowa last Sunday. Brett, we're ready to go. Should be an exciting 300 miles here virtually at Talladega, as the Cup race was wild this Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it's usually quite the party when you come down to Talladega. These boys like to throw caution to the wind. They always say Talladega is the super party of NASCAR down here in the Southeast. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can kind of mimic the great racing that we saw at the actual event going on earlier today. As I'm not sure exactly how many cars we have starting this event, but we have a bunch. So
there's a lot of them. There's about 25, 26 cars.
So it's going to be interesting to see just how close these guys are willing to battle. Going to be interesting to see if we keep it 2 wide for a while, or how many laps we get into before somebody starts trying to make it 3 wide and make that outside lane work.
And all those questions are about to be answered right now as the field gets ready to come to the starter's box here out of turn number 4 through the tri-oval. We're ready to go for, again, The next round in the round of 8, trying to lock in the championship 4. Here they come to the firing box out of turn number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, you have the race. It is time to kick some asphalt. This is Talladega. We're underway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are underway for this event here at Talladega. It is a start. It is underway. We'll see what these drivers can do in the early going. Still a long way to go. Remember, lap 34 will be the opportunity for the stage caution. Robert Kinney currently leading the way over Trenton Jump, Evan Coleman, Stafford, Matt Dyer falling back outside the top 5. Spencer Hardison, by the way, who was the Shake and Bake Cup winner the other night at Bristol, moving up to the field.
As it looks like we may have had issues with one car. Looks like one car coming down the back straightaway there dropped down to the infield and lost a lot of positions. Not sure exactly who that was, as I didn't catch a car number. But pretty interesting to see the field pretty spaced out, as you only have a handful of cars on that outside lane. Everybody preferring the bottom right now as the quick way around. As you see that 8 car right there. Coleman trying to get to the back bumper of that 61 of Stafford, trying to make that outside lane work, as there's the 34 now falling down to the inside. So the leader now having trouble on the initial go.
And again, Stafford now going to the top spot in the 61 machine. Hardison falling back now to second. Trenton Jump to third. Working their way through the tri-oval off of turn 4. Opening lap now here at Talladega. 113 laps, 300 miles in the Relaxed Remodeling 300. The round of 8 merging on to the round of 4. The championship 4 in 2 weeks. The final round of the championship 8, round of 8, will decide next week at Vegas. The 4 drivers in the points, unless they win, will go on to Phoenix in 2 weeks, counting tonight's event. Hop out in front now, the 22 car. McDowell falling back to second. Here comes also Smith. Those 3 cars. In the last 4 laps, we've seen 3 different cars in the top 3. That's pretty impressive. It shows the competitiveness in the early going, Brett, at Talladega off turn 4.
Yeah, these guys are all spread out, kind of like the Flying V from the Mighty Ducks. Everybody just trying to get in where they fit in early on in this race and log some laps. But you do have a handful of guys that are trying to get to the front and maybe get some laps in this event, as everybody pretty much staying spread out. This isn't the usual Talladega racing that I'm used to seeing. I'm used to seeing a lot of side drafting and, 2 straight, side-by-side lines forming.
Back out of 2. Here they come. Working through the tri-oval. With Hop out in front. McDowell, Smith, 1, 2, and 3. Hardison, Stooksbury, all these drivers all in position. By the way, my apologies. It was actually Spencer Hardison winning the caution-free race at Homestead. And Brett, you called that with me the other night.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting race at Homestead. The first time I've seen a cup race go green to checkered without any issues. So that was first for me, as it was a pretty dominant battle by Spencer Hardison. He put on a clinic that night.
It was a very good job for the driver of the number 8 machine, Spencer Hardison, picking up the win for the finale of what will be in 2 weeks known as the S&B Cup Series, presented by Appalachian Hauler Hunters. Hop McDowell, Stooksbury, Smith, and Dyer, top 5. Hardison falling back to 6th after he led a couple of laps. So is also Stamp, Johnson. Trenton Jump led some early as well. And breaking in the top 10, that's where they are. You're running on board now with Hardison, thanks to Swag. E-Raps and Graphics, he's in 6th place, kind of laying in the weeds, mating patiently here in the early going at Talladega.
Yeah, 113 laps at Talladega. That is a very long race, as you see a lot of guys just kind of not really doing a lot of bump drafting, as you see him not right up on the back bumper of the car in front of him. He's just kind of hanging off, maybe about a bumper width or so, just enough to where the draft is, got a good strength to it, but not to where he's beating the back bumper off the 25 early on. It's been, pretty much just, guys trying to find their spot, get in line, tick off some of these laps. I don't expect to see a lot of hard draft racing out of this group for about another 70 laps or so, as it looks like the whole entire field pretty much just single filed out on the bottom, ready to just tick off the first half of this race.
10 in. Quick break. We'll go side by side. Underway. Adrenaline iRacing League, the playoffs, and the Relax Remodeling Round of 8. The 300-miler here from Talladega. More on your home for sim racing. LSR TV in a moment. Back here at Talladega as the 22 machine leading the way here currently. About to put 10 laps on the board. Jacob Hopp, the man out in front. Andy McDowell in 2nd. Tyler Stooksbury 3rd. Caleb Smith, Spencer Hardison currently the top 5. And for the most part now, honestly, everybody just kind of lying in the weeds. Just taking her easy. Nose to tail, single file as they go back to the banking in 1.
Yeah, not too much side-by-side action going on as everybody's just trying to tick off some laps. It's pretty interesting, the gap that you're starting to see form between the top 6 cars and that small group behind them. As you can lose a little bit of gap in between the draft if you're not right up on the back bumper. As you'll look at the 20 car of McDowell stick his nose out of the leader of Hop, not sure if he was looking to maybe get that 19 of Stooksbury to go with him, or if he was just trying to keep that motor cool, as you can definitely overheat these cars and blow a motor very quickly here if you do not keep that air supply to that front bumper.
Seeing some of the comments that are in the chat box, and I know that definitely there is a lot of Braxton Deweese fans, so we're responding to your comment. Will say but what happened last week happened. Tough break for what Braxton went through at Iowa. And, virtual or reality, when you're in the playoffs and you're fighting for a championship, or you're in the hunt for a championship, Brett, you're mentally can crack. It can mentally get to you. It will definitely, the pressure, knowing there's no tomorrow. I mean, either you win, you go on. If you don't, you struggle. You have a risk of being eliminated.
Yeah, for as much as racing is a battle of strategy and a battle of math, it definitely takes a personal battle of emotion as well. As you've seen it as well as I have in real world, Wesley. A lot of drivers can have an up and down season, and a good season can go completely out from under you at the drop of a hat. And it really is unfortunate for him with the way that things are going currently, but just one of those types of deals of racing.
Field coming back down to the start-finish line. Working now lap number 12 complete, 13 on the board now. Coming up for Hop, he's still leading the way. McDowell in the second spot. You're riding on board from the rear view camera of Hop. Thanks to Swag, E-Wraps and Graphics. Hop, McDowell, Stooksbury, Smith, Hardison, top 5. And again, it looks like it's a freight train down the back stretch, all single file. Nobody is, they're just all nose to tail. Everybody is nip-tucked right behind the other. Look at that freight train roaring to 3. No one breaking out of line. A little wiggle and a jiggle there for a second, but nothing yet to become 3 and 4 wide racing. I think it's too early, but now McDowell with a shot to the outside, looking for a lead through the tri-oval on Hop as they come to the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get the job done. He went by himself, and he doesn't look like he's going to pick up any help from anybody. So I'm expecting that 20 car McDowell to start dropping back through the field as you see him now starting to lose positions. You saw him very close to that back bumper. The leader Hop even gave him a little bit of a push down the back straightaway. I think he was expecting Stooksbury to go with him with that move, but it looks like he's going to pick up a little bit of help. Is about 2 car lengths back. He's got a two-car tag team behind him, so don't know if they're going to be able to keep up with the draft of this inside line for as strung out and as far back as they've run, but going to be interesting to see just how hard it is for this outside lane to hold on, and if other cars jump to the outside and try to make some positions up here.
Stooksbury now up to the second spot. They work their way back to turn number 1, down to the inside. Now an outside lane beginning to form up on the top shelf. Led by the 25 car of Smith. He's on the bottom. Correction, that's actually Browning actually trying to make something start to work on the top side of the racetrack. 4 cars breaking out of line. Browning now making a move to the outside, and he's going to try to go to the lead. He'll go to the lead around McDowell.
Yeah, the biggest thing that hurt that inside line there was the gap between Hardison and Smith in that 25 machine. Hardison wasn't able to get to that back bumper coming off the corner, and now you see the bottom lane start to gap out even more. That's only going to help this outside lane get to the front, as McDowell almost had the lead there at the line that last lap by, as this outside lane is looking to roll some momentum here with the bottom lane getting a little broken up as we roll through 1 and 2 and down to the back straightaway here at Talladega.
Back straight away up top side, Browning's car to the inside, bottom of the racetrack, McDowell. McDowell and Hop hooked up, Stooksbury right there with him. And the opportunity now awaits for the other cars on the top side to make something work.
Interesting thing to note here, Wesley, is just a little bit ago we had a group of cars down on pit road, so not sure if that group was trying to short pit and set up some fuel strategy here towards the end of this race, but a group of maybe 10 to 12 cars came down pit road that last time by, and now they're about half a track behind this lead pack. So going to be interesting to see if we stay green, if this fuel strategy that may be getting put into place here pans out for these guys.
Working their way back around through turn 4. McDowell still staying hooked on the bottom of the racetrack, as now Browning is there with him. Got Stooksbury and Caleb Smith, some cars coming down to the pit lane. Strategy early going. What do you think there, Brett Rolls?
I'm not sure exactly how this league is set up 100%. It's been a while since I've seen one of their events. It could be, lighten fuel loads. I don't know if they run 50% or, a certain percentage fuel loads. This is a little bit early as far as the pit strategy goes that I'm used to running off of regular fuel loads. But, going to be interesting to see if any more cars jump down pit lane this time by. As I'm getting word that that they believe it's a 60% fuel load for these guys, so just about a half a fuel load, just a little more than a half a tank for these guys per per visit to the racetrack. So it's Not sure. I believe these guys may be playing a little bit of pit strategy, coming down a couple of laps early, but I think we might be able to see more of these front runners coming down within the next handful of laps, maybe like 3 to 5 laps.
So a cycle of green flag pit stops currently ongoing. That's still Browning out in front. Browning, McDowell, 1 and 2. Hop is there. Matt Dyer in the 88 car up on the top shelf. He's trying to crack the top 5. Got himself a very unique paint job wrap on that car. And this is honestly probably one of the best runs Dyer's had in a long time on the Adrenaline Cup Series, because normally he struggles. He's in 4th right now, back to turn 1.
Yeah, he's got a hot rod up there as he's working that draft with that outside car. I believe that is having a Browning in the 12 car to his in front of him in that Dunkin' Donuts sponsored machine. Is now you're riding on board with Man in the number 49 as you see him go to the top side as he gets a little bit of a gap to get up on that high side and possibly help out with the draft. But as you can see on your screen, just in front of this lead pack, we have a group of cars that's working together on the bottom of the racetrack. So a little bit of a curveball for these lead pack drivers to possibly get around this group if they catch them before pit cycles come around.
Sartaj Man, we're riding on board with him. In the number 49, he's currently in 4th. He is currently one of those drivers that are trying to punch their ticket into the championship 4. And by virtue of points, he sits 3rd.
Yeah, right now he's sitting in 3rd place as, you know, he's got a little bit of a bubble over the guys that are trying to get into this top 4, but there's only about a 17 to 27 point gap between 3rd place and 7th place. So, you know, anything can happen at a restrictor plate race like Talladega. So that driver that's sitting 7th looking for, you know, his chance to get into that top 4, Talladega could be that race that, you know, he may find that success. They say Talladega is anybody's race. You know, anybody can show up here and do well in the draft. It's pretty much anybody's given Sunday when it comes to restrictor plate racing.
Christian Gomez in 48, Jacob Grant in 5, 53, Eric Stump, Trenton Jump in 46. They all made pit stops just a few moments ago. Andy McDowell, still the man out in front of that number 20 car. And here comes those drivers that were just making those green flag cycle of pit stops, now about to play defense because the offense of the leader and company is coming after them, and they're just going to fly by them like they're sitting ducks off into the corner. Much more power for the lead pack than the cars on the inside. And you're going to see that come to fruition here in just a moment down the back straightaway, Brett.
And with these cars now becoming a lap down, if we do get a caution, I believe only the first car on the lead lap is going to get their lap back. So it's going to be interesting to see if this pack of lap cars starts getting a little more racy, trying to race for that lucky dog position if we do get a caution.
Field back off a turn 4 through the tri-oval, back to the start-finish line. McDowell and Hop now. Remember, lap 34, when that race lap is completed, they'll throw the caution for the end of stage 1. And the question is, it's not a matter of if, it's when the craziness will happen here at Talladega. Brett Rolls, it's just too early right now in the going. As Dylan Browning gives up 6th place, he's onto the pit lane in the 12 car.
Yeah, I'm not really expecting a big one, so to speak, until towards the later portion of this race. These drivers have, you know, looked to be pretty patient. They're not looking too aggressive as far as racing goes. You don't see a lot of side-by-side drafting, and you don't see a, you know, two-lane racing like you normally would, that would lead to that big one. The only thing that really could cause a stack up right now is somebody getting a little too aggressive with a push and, you know, getting somebody a little bit loose.
Andy McDowell still the man out in front. And there you see those drivers that are a lap down amongst the leaders, trying to clear that lap traffic. Stooksbury is the last car on the tail end of the lead lap. So and now here comes the leader, McDowell, coming to the pit lane. Everyone else all behind him as well. They're going to get on the binders. Look out, Caleb Smith, the 63, also hitting the cone. There might be a penalty for that car. They're all coming into pit road hot and heavy. They all had to get on the binders quickly there, Brett.
Yeah, I think the 63 may get an unsafe pit entry penalty. So it's going to be interesting to see if they keep him in the pit stall here for a little bit, as it looked like he made a little bit of contact with another car. Not sure exactly what car that was, but it looks like the 63 going to opt out of going down pit lane this time. So not sure exactly what may be going on with the 63 machine, as it looks like he's just having a little bit of a struggle right now.
Let's take a look at the replay presented by Swag. They also sponsor our caution flags, but watch them as they come down onto the pit lane. And watch the 63. Everybody on the binders. Looked like he had to really check up because he was going to hit the back end of the other car in front of him. The 22 car of Hop.
It looked like the 22 of Hop may have gotten in a little bit too hot himself and brake checked just a little bit to try to slow that car down that the 63 wasn't expecting. I don't know if the 63 is doing like a drive-through, is maybe trying to avoid a penalty or something, as you see him now coming down this time by.
Yeah.
But you know, with playing the draft and losing that pack of cars that he was coming down pit lane with, it's going to be very interesting to see just how much ground this costs him, as he may get lucky as we see another car coming down pit road with him.
And that's Alex Walter, the driver we were just referring to. Sartaj man out in front now, but Sargent in the 49, leading the way over McDowell. Tom Bourne, Stafford Johnson closing in on the end of stage one. Green flag pit stops. The cycle has wrapped up. And man, out in front. Look at Stafford. Little help there in the middle lane. There were 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Push through the tri-oval. Stafford trying to hold his line. Here comes another opportunity on the top shelf for a car to make a move. He thought better of it. Stafford now fighting for third with the pack down into turn 1.
And you see that front 2 cars working really well together, as they were able to push right through the middle of that entire pack. But as you see cars coming onto the track from pitting, it may cause a little bit of a hiccup here for these guys, as you see a couple of cars side by side with people. It looks like the 63 is going to go to the top side and let these guys by. You see another car having some issues coming on or off of coming the back straightaway or coming off of pit road. Not sure what's going on with this Camry. I can't see a car number on this, but it looks like the 34 car is having
Robert
a
Kenny.
little bit of an issue.
That's the 38 actually, 38. Car number 38 with problems on his car on the racetrack. That is Shane Therian. Shane Therian, the points leader. And honestly, he's having problems with his race car just coming onto the racetrack. He might lose the points lead, but he's still I think he's still going to stay in the top 4, or the championship 4. But looking at this, Shane Therian will not be getting his 5th win. And with that win going to the championship 4 at Phoenix today at Talladega here, Brett.
Yeah, trouble for your points leader. That might spell disaster for his championship efforts if he's not able to get that figured out for the rest of this series. As you know, one small hiccup at a track may not be as drastic in the regular season, but it could mean everything and anything here in the postseason. So, you know, Therian definitely not too happy about having issues here at Talladega, as he's probably trying to get that car figured out just to salvage what may be, the best efforts that he could. Not sure exactly how many laps he is down, as it says out on your ticker, as you can see, as he's taken that car. He's currently 28 laps down, so only about 1 or 2 laps he's been able to make around the speedway. So not sure exactly how much ground he may be able to make up in this event here. I think he may just be trying to work out some bugs for next week's race. And
aggravating car there just a second as they work through the tri-oval. And there goes Stafford. So he's fighting for third, along with Logan Brakey, Robert Kinney, all these drivers in that mix. And McDowell, still the man out in front in the number 28. There he is. McDowell and Satarj Mann have hooked up 1 and 2. Away from the pack, that's the second group, led by Stafford and Brakey, fighting for third now. Coming up on 4 laps until the stage 1 comes to an end. They're off of turn 4, back to the tri-oval.
they're going to come back around here. As it looks like this back pack is starting to track down this front duo. So it's going to be interesting to see if they check up for them or if they try to squeeze on by them, as they're catching them very drastically. As you see that the gap between the top two and the rest of this field here closing, as now you're going to go on board with the third place car. That's going to be Stafford, as he's going to get a huge head of steam coming out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. He's going to be able to clear the 49, a man that puts him to second, and now he's to the door of the 20, and it looks like he's going to be able to clear, and he's going to drop down right in front of the nose of McDowell. So he's going to leave that outside lane high and dry. The 34 car now trying to get side by side with McDowell, trying to make a run to that lead as we come back down to the tri-oval this time by.
Stafford looking for now his 5th win, where the other driver that has 4 wins is struggling, and Shane Kieran, the man who won in the 61 car a couple of weeks ago, is now currently at the top spot. Bronson Stafford, second in his 61 Cineplex movie Toyota, 20 points back to Shane Therian.
As another one of our top 4 drivers that I've noticed is having a little bit of an off day today is that number 46 car of Trenton Jump. He currently comes into this Talladega race sitting in the 4th position, and he's only ahead of that cutoff by 2 points to the 34 of Robert Kennedy. And you see the Kennedy machine as he rolls around this speedway as well. It looks like Trenton Jump currently running in the 22nd position and 1 lap down. I'm looking to see where Kennedy's running at this current moment. I don't happen to see him on the ticker.
Robert Kenny, only 2 points. Go ahead, buddy.
As I just seen him now, as you see him, the 3rd car in line on that outside group, that's Robert Kennedy. So the guy that's looking to battle with Trenton Jump, he's running 5th right now, and Jump back in the 22nd position. So this could spell out some huge implications for your top 4 lock-in spots.
Any moment, the caution flag will fly. 34 laps complete. There is the yellow flag. Stage 1 in the books. It's going to go to the Daytona winner of Robert Kinney in 34. So Robert Kinney in the 34 entry will be the Stage 1 victor, and the caution will come out. Extended break. When we come back, pit road will be open. We'll get ready for the home stretch, and which should be the second half of the Relax Remodeling 300. From Talladega Super Speedway, this is LSR TV, your home for sim racing.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. personalized. I mean, we do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything, hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customers and stuff. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees@yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Lights are off for the pace car. Welcome back to our broadcast coverage of the Relax Remodeling 300 and the round of 8 for the championship for the Adrenaline iRacing League on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. We are aware of some encoding issues and some lag in our broadcast. If we continue to have any more problems, we will work on behind the scenes to get it fixed. But we'll let you know we are aware of what is going on. The field is getting ready to go back to the Geico restart zone and get the green flag here. Brett, clean race so far, fairly clean, no problems, no cautions, except for the one at the end of the stage. And think it's going to amp up here now, or do you think it's still too early?
I think, we're about a third of the way through this race, or actually we're about a third of the way through the race. I'm not expecting a lot of high animosity racing. but I do expect things to maybe get a little bit more heated and turned up the notch a little bit, especially seeing guys, as the 29 currently sitting on the pole the current leader is actually gonna be your 7th place driver in the points right now, Logan Brakey. He's 17 points out of that championship cutoff line, and some other drivers that I've noticed in the top 8 right now that may have been strung out throughout the field. So a couple of drivers may have been having some issues, as you see Mann back in 14th, Stamp in 15th, and a couple other drivers that are trying to get some good jumps back here in the points. As you see Jump in 22nd, he's able to get back on the lead lap, but the biggest impact to the points so far that you're going to see tonight here is down there in the 26th position on your ticker behind the wall is that number 38 machine to Theron, your current points leader.
And we are back underway here at Talladega. Stage 2, ready to bring this to the checkered flag. Roll Tide in that 23 car, Johnson. And well, that goes on the 29, Logan Brakey out in front, the Sportsnet Canada Ford Mustang. Another driver we haven't mentioned, Gamera, the 94 car, gives him a push. Hop back in the battle. Spencer Hardison back in the top 5. Caleb Smith Johnson, around we go. Here they come to 4.
Yeah, Spencer Hardison in that Lane's sponsored number 8 machine down on the inside of the track right now, currently looking to take over that 3rd position from the 22 of Hop, as we're going to roll through the tri-oval this time by. He's going to try to get to that back bumper of the 94 of Gamera and catch some draft here. It's looking like it's not going to work out, as they're going to be dead even going into turns 1 and 2, as it looks like the 29 of Brakey and the 94 of Gamera are going to start to open up a little bit of a gap over the rest of the field as these guys start battling side by side and using up a little bit of side draft.
Back straightaway at full speed now. Brakey, Gamera, Hardison, nose to tail right there along with Smith, Browning, Hop, all those cars. And now an opportunity begins for the 22 up top shelf as Hop hooks up with Johnson. And Browning, also the 48 car. First time we mention his name, Gomez. Remember the 48 car, winner at Richmond. The win was encumbered, taken away. Gave the win to Nick Massey. Gomez was penalized for a driving technicality, and in doing so was parked. He had to suffer a penalty that was supposed to have been at Michigan. His first time back racing with the series is tonight. He had to start this race in the pit area, bring 10 seconds, then he had to come on the racetrack. He's been a lap down or more. He's come back through the field, and currently now he sits in 14th, but he's actually climbing down the ladder. While he was climbing up a moment ago there, Brett, he's now down inside the top 15. A problem on the 48 car.
Yeah, Gomez dropping positions fast, as he's going to fall right back to the back bumper of Sartaj Mann. So he's going to try to ride one of these points leaders' back bumper and try to get back up front here. Not sure if he just got caught up trying to check up for someone, with a head of steam that he got off the draft run and ended up getting booted out of line. But, interesting look here is that Ford Mustang number 5 back there in about the 6th or 7th position. He stuck his nose to the outside of the Crimson Tide number 23 of Johnson. So it looks like a couple of these drivers here, as we get closer to the 50 lap mark, is starting to turn the heat up a little bit and looking to possibly get up inside that top 3. As you see everybody within the top 10 to 15 shuffling positions just a little bit side by side, shakiness coming down the front straightaway as they're trying to fight this draft, as these guys are probably averaging well over around 195 to 200 mile an hour lap speeds right now.
Into 3. Brakey on the defense, holding off Gamera. Hop is there. And now you have a second line starting to come to formation. More cars closing in on that pack of 4, as they're now trying to close in on the lead pack of Brakey. alongside Smith and Hardison on the bottom. Working lap 41 complete now, 42 now complete, 3 on the board. 113 laps the distance, 300 miles in the Relax Remodeling 300 here on LSR TV. Back on board with the man in second, Gamera, looking at Hardison, and Hop his rear deck lid, coming at him at full speed to the back straightaway.
And one thing that you notice here is you see that 8-car, Spencer Hardison, not really pushing the back bumper issue as much as bump drafting goes. He's content riding about maybe a half a car length back, just enough for this draft to work a little bit. Right. But you see how much that's affecting these cars on the inside lane with how much drag that gap is producing. As you see the cars on the outside getting a very good run, is now position number 7 going to come up as Stooksbury going to cut off and get down to the inside. He's going to come down right in front of Spencer Hardison. So you see now as he gets right up to the back bumper how this inside group is going to push coming out of that inside of the corner. But it looks like some problems is we're going to have the driver that we go on board with. He's going to go down to the inside. That's the 94 car of Gamera. He's going to get hung up on the inside of the track, and he's going to lose wholesale positions in that Toyota Camry.
Johnson now representing my favorite team in college football, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Roll Tide at Talladega. Breaking in second. Trenton Jump third. Stooksbury fourth. Hop in the top 5. Here comes the 48. I'm sorry, 46 a Jump. My apologies. That's Jump in the 46 car. Yep.
We got a Crimson Tide machine out here. We're going to have to get a Notre Dame sponsored car out here for the next race.
Yeah. Fighting Irish, my foot.
Hey, I mean, I'm a ginger. I feel like that's like
the only thing I like about the Fighting Irish was the movie Rudy. That was it.
But like I said, I mean, I'm a ginger. I kind of feel like that's like a law to like.
And here comes Jump. Jump was the All-Star race winner back when the season started back in June. Man, that was many, many moons ago. And by the way, it's a full moon tonight. Back to turn number 1. Hopping, jumping, Browning, 1, 2, and 3. They work their way back around the corner. What was that? What you like my full moon comment? Well, it's at nightfall here, so you know. Eastern time zone, you know. Bottom of the racetrack. Brakey, Stooksbury below the yellow line. In iRacing, that is allowed. It's not a penalty.
As you see the top 8 cars completely side by side, not really much of a strength advantage to either one of these lanes, as it looks like just now the 22 able to get a good run coming into the tri-oval, as that's going to allow him to get clear of that 46 a Jump, as you see him now move down to the inside lane and clear. So not a lot of drivers willing to have a lot of lane loyalty at this point. You've seen the drivers on the outside, as soon as they get clear of the leader, they are quick to drop down to that inside lane. So it's going to be interesting to see throughout the course of this race how many drivers, you know, get that whole, well, you didn't work with me earlier, I'm not going to work with you now, as it looks like your favorite car there, Johnson, in that Alabama Crimson Tide sponsored number 23, he's going to look at in traditional Crimson Tide fashion, and he's going to drop down to P20, so he's going to lose big time here.
Roll Tide roll, that's all I'm going to say. Hang in there. Understanding that we have upgraded some components and might have the software glitch fixed, so hopefully we'll not jinx anything. Be good for the rest of the way. We are coming up on halfway. 113 laps, 300 miles in the Relax Remodeling 300. One caution, and that it was for the stage. So far, everybody's played nice. Everybody be nice to one another, right? Lap 56, by the way, will be halfway. Let's check in on the weather conditions as we approach halfway here. And wow, the track temp has really changed. Temperature ambient still the same, 78 degrees. Wind temperature still the same, partly cloudy virtually. And weather conditions presented by sawblade.com. But again, track temp has really gone down from 113 down to 98 degrees. And I'm not talking about the band either, Brett.
Oh boy, now we're bringing up 98 degrees to the group. Oh boy, we're getting Wesley started early tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
As it looks like the field now going to roll through turns 3 and 4 as we get closer to this lap 50. I'm not sure when the next stage break is, but we've got to be reaching some green flag pit stops here as we big
Reiki on defense, blocking cars, can't do it forever.
As a huge move there by that Baja Blast Mountain Dew sponsored number 53 of Stamp, as he went bonsai to the bottom, and it's going to pay off big time as he's going to have the lead coming into turns 1 and out of turns number 2. So Stamp with a huge move to regain that lead over the 46 a jump, but it looks like the momentum from the high side of jump, it's going to work out in his favor, as now the 94 of Gamera back inside the top 3. He's looking to push jump back to the lead as we come through turns 3 and 4 one more time. It's going to be almost dead even as we get to the tri-oval, but give the slight advantage to Stamp as he gets the momentum coming through. So Eric Stamp going to have the lead at the line this time by.
And quick evasive moves by those drivers as well, quickly on the binders to play defense. You can only block so many lanes. Stamp, the leader, there he is. Look at the bumper by jump. Browning. Correction, that's Browning. That's the Dunkin' Donuts car. It's time to make the donuts here at Talladega.
I think we might have to warn our producer, Cody Wooten, to move the camera a little bit here, because it looks like he's going to be putting out some money in camera repairs here if we get a little bit more physical with this bump drafting.
Well, that's probably the best of the best, though, Brett.
Oh, Browning looking to push Stamp all the way to the dirt track across the street as we roll through turns 1 and 2. But Jump with a huge bit of momentum coming through 1 and 2 on the high side. Him and Gamera going to be able to ride it down and out the back. Turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. But here comes Browning as you see him close in on the back bumper of the 53. But that little bit of a gap that it caused them to close is going to give the 46 and Gamera just that slight bit of momentum on the high side. What they really need is that 22 of Hop and the 19 of Stooksbury to get right up on their back bumper and push this outside lane so that way these guys can get up to the front, as we got a slow car in front of this field looking to throw a little bit of curveball into these drivers as they're coming up on him quick. You see him taking a slight detour as that driver going to get all the way up close to the wall and give these guys the room that they need.
And they're, ooh, that was Rodriguez, and they were getting a little sideways here for just a moment. Rodriguez was the car on the top left, 57. Going a lap down. If the caution is to come out, he would get the free pass. Coming up on halfway here in a couple of more laps as Trenton Jump leads the way. Stamp in second. Gamera in the 94 car, hooked up with Hop in 22, Stooksbury and more to make the outside lane work. And here they come piling in. Back to turn 1 up the high banks here at Talladega. We're about to be side by side. Thought about it. Gamera just cannot seem to shut the door. The bottom lane's the way to go. Jump knows it. He'll stay to the inside. He'll push now. Stamp with him off at 2.
Yeah, I think this tag team at the front of this field between the 46 of Jump out front and the 53 of Stamp pushing has been the most powerhouse 1-2 position we've seen this entire race thus far. As you see those two able to pull away from the front bumper of Browning as they come down the straightaway. So these two showing that they've got a lot of speed and they've got a lot of draft experience between the two of them, as they're able to use a 2-car draft and be able to pull away from the rest of this field, as these two cars have almost cleared the outside row completely on their own. So Keep an eye on these two as we get closer to the end. As you saw that 53 about a handful of laps ago, he is not afraid to make those drastic maneuvers. As you see that pink car back in about the 7th and 8th spot, that 88 I believe the number is, you saw him get just below the apron, get a little bit loose. He had to check up a little bit and get her straightened out. As we come down the back straightaway, you're going to go on board with him as he's right behind the 12 machine of Browning. Your onboard camera brought to you by Swag, as you see just what it's like to work this draft. I mean, a lot of cars underneath the blanket, and you see another slow car coming up in front of this group. So it's going to be interesting to see from a driver's perspective, you know, just what it's like when you've got a head full of steam and you got a slow car and you got this little bit of room to work with, just how much MacGyvering and maneuvering you got to do to be able to avoid this safely. As you roll through 1 and 2, you're going to see that lap car go all the way to the top, get these guys the racing room at the bottom of the track that they need, and now you're going to see things getting real tight. These drivers going to get real close. They're going to start to cuddle as we come down the back straightaway and roll into turns 3 and 4. The front of this field going to have that machine pass, as it looks like that was the 20 car of McDowell. He looked pretty strong earlier on this in this race, Wesley. Think he may be on a fuel strategy, as it looks like he came down pit road.
1 lap to halfway. Here they come back through the tri-oval, roaring back to start finish. 1 lap, cross flags will be in the air, and we will be ready to go here as again Jump is out in front. We're riding on board thanks to Swag a moment ago with Matt Dyer's car, the Cartoon Network machine. Nestled in behind Browning. Hardison having a little signal issue there on the 8 car. The GOAT, winner for the S&B Cup Series finale a few days ago at Homestead. And here they come off of turn number 4, back to the tri-oval. It's Jump, Stamp, Gamera, Browning, Hop, the top 5, along with Dyer, Stooksbury, Breaky, Grant, Smith, and now Hardison will crack the top 10. We're halfway home in the Relax Remodeling 300, the round of 8. Opening race number 2 in the round of 8 to decide who goes to Phoenix for the championship 4. The Adrenaline playoffs continue. It's our TV, your home for sim racing, and we'll go side by side for a moment so you do not miss a moment of the action.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom t-shirts, racing. We'll do actually any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized, I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees at yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Welcome back to Talladega. ready for the second half of the next round of 8 in the Adrenaline iRacing League playoffs. This is the Relax Remodeling 300 in the Relax Remodeling round of 8 from Talladega Super Speedway in Anniston, Alabama. I'm Wesley Outland, Brett Rolls, Charles Wooten on the executive producer side of things. This is Talladega. It's still a lot of racing remaining. Let's check the weather conditions thanks to sawblade.com. See if it's changed, and it has. It's gone up from 87 degrees track temp back up to 97. Brett, why do you think that is?
Just as these drivers get more and more racing down, I mean, you got these cars hauling the mail around this track probably about 200 mile an hour right now. That's a lot of cars, a lot of tires, a lot of use that this asphalt's getting beat up right now. Then you got to throw the weather factor in with the sun beating down on it. I'm not really too educated as far as the asphalt track conditions go when it comes to weather effects as much as I am on the dirt side of things. But it's pretty interesting to see, just how much these guys are able to get more side-by-side racing at the lower temperature ratings than it is the higher temperature ratings, as you see most of this field going back to single file compared to that two-lane, 8-car per lane racing we saw just before the break.
.63 of 113 laps here at Talladega. Still Trenton jump out in front. We have not mentioned anything about the 46 car since Daytona when he won the All-Star race. Couple of moments along the way this season, but as far as having a shot to win, not until tonight. Go ahead, Charles. Coming soon, the LSR TV Swag podcast. We will unveil all of the details and information on what was announced earlier this afternoon on the Short Track Nationals. January 15th, 16th, and 17th, a $12,000 purse. All those details coming soon on our Swag LSR TV video podcast. Not audio, but video podcast. But actually it would be audio because we could take the feed and put it on CRN for the audio. But yes, yeah, that's really cool. Coming up very soon. Brett, I know you were asking questions about that. A lot of people be asking questions. What's going on with that Short Track Nationals? What y'all talking about? $12,000 purse. Yeah.
Yeah, especially, you talk about 12 grand. I think you can pretty much get anybody's attention with that.
He just not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna go there. Here they come, back off of turn number 4, back to the start-finish line. In another lap, we're gonna put 65 laps complete. Zigging, zagging, going to the outside, to the inside of the racetrack, with still Jump leading the way. It's Jump and Stamp and Brakey. Massey, who won last week at Iowa, now starting to stick his car into this battle. A 4-car breakaway here at Talladega as they move their way back to the tri-oval, and green flag pit stops have now begun as the top 5 start to peel off onto the pit lane. Brett Rolls.
Yeah, there was a group of cars that came in last time by, as you see them coming off of the pit lane now, and a group coming in now, which was the lead group. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this all plays out, as I believe right now your net race lead is going to be the 88 machine of Dyer, that Cartoon Network hot pink ride that we saw earlier that we were riding on board with. I believe he is going to come around and inherit the net race lead, as it looks like he's not going to be alone, as the 12 of Browning and the 22 of Hop are right there with him, as I do believe it's going to be the 12 of Browning that's actually going to inherit the race lead, with everybody coming around for pit stops as they're coming through the tri-oval now, and everybody else that just came down to pit road, they're coming onto the racetrack now. So it's very hard to get up to speed that these guys that are running in the pack and running with draft are running when you're just coming out onto the racetrack. So you see the interval on the right hand side of your ticker there as they come around to get closer to these guys that just came out of the pits. You see them there ahead of them. just pay attention to that ticker, as you can see just how drastically these times are going to drop as far as interval from them to the car ahead of them.
And as they work their way back through the tri-oval out of turn 4, more cars roaring through the corner, other cars peeling off, coming to the pit lane. And this green flag cycle of pit stops continue. We have not had a green flag. I'm sorry, my apologies, what I was trying to say. We have not had a yellow flag since lap 35 at the stage caution. It has to be a record for the Adrenaline iRacing League as well as for Talladega so far. Now, we had a race the other night for the Shake and Bake Cup Series finale at Homestead, the Virginia Office Supply 200. That race went caution-free. Won by Spencer Hardison, might I add, Brett, in the number 8 car, who runs on the Adrenaline Cup Series. Tonight, he sits 18th on the track at Talladega.
Yeah, I believe Spencer Hardison was just coming down to a pit lane strategy within the last 2 laps. As you see him on your screen now in that lane sponsored number 8, it says GOAT right there on the back of it. It kind of gives me like that Jimmy Johnson Lowe's kind of throwback feel, if you will, Wesley. As you see the 19 as you ride on board with the swag onboard camera of the 19 of Stewksbury, as him and the 8 car Spencer Hardison trying to work together to get some of this advantage that they've lost back from this pit strategy, as that's P18 and 19 currently on the ticker as we're rolling lap 68 of 113 here at Talladega, and I expect within the next handful of laps we're going to see the notch of intensity get turned up even a little bit more. You see guys starting to go too wide racing, so be interested to see just exactly how far these guys are willing to go. As you see, these two here had to check up for that car that was coming back in to the racing surface from their pit strategy. That's going to stack them up a little bit there, but Stewksbury able to get right to the back bumper again of Hardison.
Jump, Stamp, Massey, Browning, Brakey, who led earlier at one time. Stewksbury giving him a punt in the pants right now as we speak. Talking about Hardison in the 8. And that is in front of the pack. As we mentioned, Hardison winning at Homestead. Now he is on the defensive, trying to stay on the lead lap. As well. Caution was to come out. Spencer Hardison would get the free pass. One car having a little inside, outside. A lot of aggressive driving, blocking from the top to the bottom. Shades of what we saw at the beginning of the NASCAR Cup event at Talladega earlier this afternoon as well, Brett Rolls.
Yeah, absolutely. As there was a huge close call there between the 20 car of McDowell, who had checked up, almost took the entire front nose off of the 29 of Brakey, who is running P4 right now. But check this out, Wesley, a driver we haven't talked much about today. That Busch-sponsored number 4 of Massey up into the top 3. He is making progress on that 53 car of Stamp all by himself on that outside. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see if maybe the drivers that are a lap down, like the 20 of McDowell, the 8 of Hardison, or the 19 of Stewksbury, jump up to that outside lane and try to help that 4 car to the front and try to get their lap back here.
70 laps complete. Coming to the final under 50 laps remaining of this deal. 43 remaining now, 42 when they come back to the start-finish line. Just outside the Geico restart zone here on the tri-oval. And there they roar back to speed at turn 1. 42 remaining. Katie, bar the door.
I'm expecting about another 12 more laps before we get to that Katie bar the door type race in there, Wesley.
Everybody's been patient. We've seen a couple of blocking moves along the way, but nothing crazy or chaotic.
Yeah, I think the thing that's going to cause a lot of chaos coming up here is you see a couple of lap cars in the mix here with the front group. The 8 car of Spencer Hardison, the 19 of Stewksbury, that's cars 3 and 4 on that inside lane, as well as this number 20 that's getting pushed by the number 4 car of Massey. They are all on the lead, or they are all a lap down rather. So keep an eye on them as these lead lap cars try to MacGyver around them and possibly help these guys get back to the front and use a couple of these lap cars like that 4 car of Massey's doing, as now he's got help from behind from that 88 car of Dyer up into the P4 spot. But now you see the 4 car drop down to the inside behind that 53 of Stamp. So a little bit of race strategy playing off as the 4 car uses the lap car to get caught back up to the lead duo, and then he's going to drop back down as now we're going to have 3 wide coming down the front straightaway and into the tri-oval. So lap cars playing a little bit of a mix here at Talladega as things are getting dicier and dicier as we near the end of this finish.
The question is, Brett, and by the way, hey, let's give you some kudos here. You were the winner of what used to be the Monday Night Cup Series. By the way, the World of Thunder Cup Series will be returning to Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern next week on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. That is next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central on LSR TV. Be 4 other series that I'll be mentioning by swag in a few moments. But you won at Daytona when their debut launched back in the summer in July. Talladega, just like Daytona, a little bit bigger. But when do you make your move? As a driver that's won Daytona, when do you go virtually to bring that car to the front?
Honestly, I mean, it just depends on, your race strategy. I mean, we've seen guys like Dale Earnhardt, who's able to go, 6 to 8 positions within a lap, and, pretty much as they've said about his father, see the air at, super speedway type tracks. But honestly, it just depends on who you got to work with, who's all around you, who you can trust in situations like these. Because technically right now we may have 26 cars who have entered this race, but right now technically only 8 of them matter, and it's going to be 4 after next week. So a lot of these guys who aren't inside the playoffs and could play a lot of give and take when it comes to playoff drivers. Just depends on who you know and who you got friends with, and who you've helped and who you've angered throughout the course of that season.
75 complete. Coming up under 40 laps to go now. With Jump out in front. Trenton Jump, nothing to lose for him. Kind of is a false statement, because he is 4th in the round of Championship 8 contenders. In the Championship 4 cutoff, it's Robert Kinney, Eric Stamp, Logan Brakey, and of course Braxton DeWeese is in a must-win. He has to win at Vegas next Sunday night if he wants to even have remotely a shot to go to the Championship 4 finale at Phoenix. But Trenton Jump has no wins. Now, I did mention he won an all-star race victory, but again, that's an all-star event. It's a non-points event. 4 points wins each for Shane Therian and Bronson Stafford. Therian has struggled tonight. Bronson Stafford has been doing A-okay in car number 61, as currently he sits right now patiently
And as I look
in 17th, I'm sorry, I lost my place there for a second. In 17th on the racetrack, Brett. But then you got Satarj Man. He is doing all right on the racetrack in the 49 car. He currently is in 10th. Best car actually on the track right now. Trenton Jump, he could win this thing. He goes to the Championship 4. He will punch his ticket to Phoenix, Brett, if he wins this race here tonight at Talladega.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting as it looks like we're only going to have maybe 33 points that separates your points leader who's having struggles tonight of Shane Thiernan and that playoff cutoff line of the top 4. So a lot of playoff implications are going to come down to the finish of the 4 would to take advantage of that and lock themselves into the playoffs, and that's exactly what this 46 car of Trenton Jump's looking to do. Is he's been out front and pretty dominant for the pretty much the second half of this race for the most part, and it's pretty interesting, Wesley, because he was struggling early on. I mean, he was one of those drivers that came in and pit around lap 15, 16, and I had thought, maybe he was on like a fuel type strategy run because of how long this race goes, but it looks like the 46 may have had everything worked out, as it's looking to work out in his favor right now.
Back through the tri-oval, 80 laps now on the board. Trenton Jump, the man out in front. Stamp is in second. Brakey third. Dyer with a good run for him in the 88 car. The Cartoon Network entry is there as again the 53 of Stamp, giving a punt to the leader. Dyer's behind him. Outside lane starting to have something happen. Led by the 22 of Hope. Here comes Ricky Bobby in the Wonder Bread car, driven by Grant in the 5. All behind Dyer. Dyer nestled in behind the 48. And that's a lap car of Gomez. A lap car is trying to help lead lap cars get through the pack to run down the leaders here, Brett.
Yeah, and that's like I pointed out there just about a handful of laps to about 10 laps ago there, Wesley, as we get closer as we near about 33 to go in this race. It's going to be, a lot of intensity as you see the back of this pack here starting to get 3 wide, and that outside lane of Dyer in that 88, he's looking to get a little bit of steam, but it looks like he's going to get hung out to dry as all of his support's going to drop down to that middle lane. And it's been pretty interesting to see, compared from like the series that I run with the Monday Night Cup series and this Adrenaline series here at the Talladega. Not a lot of guys are willing to push the envelope and do that 3 wide race. As soon as it starts, guys start backing out of it and getting single file back out. So it looks like these guys are not looking to throw everything they've got out the window right now, as they're looking just to get a little bit more position, maybe get in front of these lap cars that are caught up in the mix here in these top 15 cars, and try to gain some position on these cars and ahead of them coming into the final pit stop towards this end of this race.
Turn 3, Jump, the pack with Grant and Moore. Right there as they work their way back around turn 4, Hop is there. When do you go? When is it time? 3 wide for a second, Hop stuck in the middle. Is Grant a lap car? As well as we just mentioned, a Gomez and others. On the top shelf, the 48 now, diving down to the bottom. That's another lap car of Gomez amongst this pack of top 4, led by Jump, Stamp, Brakey, top 3. Then it's the lap car of Gomez. And we're starting to see a little breakaway now. Hardison breaks out of line. He goes to the middle lane, to the outside middle lane, back from the bottom, and carries another car with him and Stooksbury. Moving around more lap cars. Back to the start-finish line through the tri-oval here. Jump. Protecting the inside. One more quick break. We'll go side-by-side extended. When we return, we will take you to the checkered flag and what me and Brett believe is about to get wild. This is Talladega. This is the Adrenaline Playoffs. Who's going to win? We'll find out when we return on LSR TV.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold, to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customers. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, T-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees@yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Welcome back to Talladega. Boy, oh boy, it's about to get crazy. At least we think it will be. We saw a couple of times where some cars broke loose during our extended commercial break thanks to Bulletproof Tees, but Brett never come unglued.
Yeah, as it looks like we're going to have a little bit more side-by-side racing back here with Dyer and that 88 machine and the 23 sponsored ride that you were talking about earlier, that Crimson Tide mobile, as they're going to try to work this middle lane here at Talladega, but it looks like they're not going to be able to get it to work because there's just a little bit too much of a gap in between those two cars for the draft to really play a factor here.
Through the tri-oval, back to the start-finish line. Closing in on over 20 laps remaining.
And it's like you pointed out, Wesley, it's kind of interesting, it's really just, a matter of time to see, when these guys decide that it's go time. As, you see the majority of this pack on the inside of the speedway. I'm waiting to see who's going to pull out and try to make that outside work with this 4-car tandem, and exactly how much speed they're going to be able to carry versus this front pack if they create a huge gap like you were starting to see there. If that 4-car and the 20 car come up the track, as now the whole entire front of the field going to come down pit road, Wesley, so this may be a little bit of fuel and tire strategy coming into effect.
Down the front straightaway, here they come onto the pit lane. Giving up position, Stamp, jump, Brakey, even Gomez a lap down or more comes to the pit lane. And so does Johnson in 23.
As it looks like everybody's going to be taking tires and fuel. Looks like 4 tires on a couple of machines. Not sure if everybody's taking 4 or if we're going to see a couple of drivers throw the dice out there and take 2 or maybe even none with Daytona and Talladega, these super speedways, not really taking a matter of tire wear into effect. You're able to run this race and maybe go like outsides, then left sides, or maybe even no tires at all on a single stop to be able to throw a little bit more of race strategy in, as it's going to hand the lead over to the 88 of Dyer as we come around to start lap number 90. And look at the 94 car of Gamera, as he's been running in the top all of this race so far. He's going to have the 44 of Massey in tow, as they're going to come side by side with the leaders down the back straightaway, and the 94 Gamera almost side by side with the 49 of Mann, and believe that's the 20 car McDowell, a lap car. So we do have a lap car running right behind the leader, as this is going to throw a little bit of a rabbit into the hat for the rest of these guys inside the top 5.
Cars zigging, zagging, staying at speed on the bottom of the apron. Everyone else also getting on the binders, coming to pit road. Whoa, on the grass. Top in 22, I believe.
And
there might be a penalty for him.
Yeah, I think there might be a couple of penalties, as I think the 34 car may have had to get on the binders. I think he came into the pit just a little bit too fast. As you saw him lock him up, there was a whole cloud of tire smoke in the back of that, Wesley, just before we saw the car go off the end of the pit lane. As you're going to have a couple of cars already on their way out, as the 88 of Dyer going to be able to get out in front of Gamera and the 4 car of Massey. So not too many positions being switched around here on pit road as we come to pit stop here on lap 91.
.22 of Hop being held in the pit lane is what we're being told. Down the back straightaway, coming up on 20 remaining. Understanding Hop got held for almost 55 seconds for his penalty. Was it worse than just being on the grass for Hop in 22, Brett, or do you think he could have got busted for speeding on pit road or more? So here comes McDowell, Grant, Stooksbury, Hardison. All these cars coming down to the apron. Slow down.
Oh, Hardison overshot the pit.
Hardison will get busted with a penalty.
As you saw the slight contact there between the 8 car of Hardison and the 5 car of Grant as they rubbed doors coming into the pit lane.
Wow.
I wonder if that's what caused Spencer Hardison to run over the pit lane there and just shoot out into the grass a little bit.
Let's watch it again.
That
Swag
was pretty rare to see.
Look at this. Watch the 8 car. Hardison. Brett, you called it. Whoa.
Yeah, just before what you saw there on the replay, they had just scraped doors coming down the, I guess you could call it the loading zone for the pit lane, so to speak, as where everybody gets down and starts checking up. As I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see any damage or not, as I think the 5 car may have a couple of tire donuts down the side of that machine, but...
Watch the 20 of McDowell thinking he overshot his pit stall. Look at this. He had to get on the binders. That caused everyone else to check up because I think he might have thought he overshot his pit stall. He wasn't even on the pit road yet. Whoa, look at this. I wonder if there's a penalty for Andy McDowell coming for overshooting going through too many pit stall boxes. Is there a penalty in the series for iRacing for that, Brett?
Yeah, looks like he's going to pull it.
Yes, he is. He's out. So yeah.
He's going to take it behind the garage there, Wesley. Is not sure what the issue there was for the 20 machine of McDowell, if it was just miscommunication between him and his spotter. But you figure this late in the race with 20 laps to go, I mean, you've made multiple pit stops before. You should at least know where your box is coming down pit lane.
You would think so. You would think so. By the way, we're at 20 remaining. 20 to go. Ice cream!
And here's something interesting that's going to happen on the speedway, Wesley, is you see the leader of man in the 49, he had about a second lead over everybody, and you see just how much not working with anybody versus a pack coming at you is going to cause, is we're going to have a little bit of contact in the back. It's going to stack them up 3 wide. The 53 of Stamp, I believe that was the 94 Gamera and the 49 of Man, all made a little bit of contact as you see cars single filing out and then fanning out, trying to avoid all the contact that was going on, as that may have caused a huge stack up for this lead pack, as that's going to give Dyer the lead now, as he stuck his nose to the inside to jump through that last corner. So this inside lane trying to take that lead back, as you've got the 4 of Massey pushing Dyer to the lead.
And by the way, all this under 20 to go. 19 remaining. Matt Dyer has a shot to win this race. I can't believe it. Me and him kind of had some words on social media the other day, and I actually told him, just verbatimly, verbally, hey man, show me something. Get up there. Let me give you more announcing time and mention you more with your name and your car. Boy, has he proved me right today. He is out in front. He is doing a phenomenal job. Got to give props to Matt Dyer in the 88 car. Give him something to talk about. He's doing it. New network entry right in the hunt of things here at Talladega down the home stretch, Brett Rolls.
Yeah, he's been up front for most of this race. He avoided a little bit of chaos there multiple times throughout the early points of this race, but he's up front right now, showing exactly why he's getting it done today, as he's going to allow the 46 a jump to come down in front of him, and he's going to give the lead up, but it looks like he's going to be side by side now with that 48 machine, or keep in mind that 48 machine to his outside, that is a lap car, so the next position that is in contention to race with him for that second spot is that 4 car of Massey and the 29 of Brakey, and I believe the 4 car may be right behind the 88 of Dyer. As you see the field rolled into 3 and 4, they're going to have, I believe that's a 2 or 3 car tandem up here in front of them, so again we're going to see just another curve ball, but with inside 20 to go, and this pack in front of them possibly racing for position as well. I don't think it's going to be as easy for these drivers to get around a group of 4 inside 20 to go racing the way they have been the past couple of laps, like it was for those single cars earlier on.
And somebody else we haven't talked about all race now up in the front, the Busch car, number 4, Nick Massey, winner at Iowa last Sunday night. Not in the playoffs, not running for a championship, just winning races. And he is out there, right there in that battle, in that pack. Lap cars in front of that pack, as we just mentioned, as it's Jump, Dyer, Massey, Brakey, Gamera, all in this pack. This is where it's all going to come down to the wire here, to the start-finish line, through the tri-oval, through the 18 degrees of banking, off turn number 4, to the start-finish line, 15 remaining. Back up the high banks of Talladega. They're slicing and dicing 2 by 2 back into 1.
As you saw the 88 have to check up there just a little bit, as you saw him get into the corner with that draft just a little bit too hot. I think he may have even gotten on the back bumper of the 46. But as you see these lap cars, they're at the bottom of the track, and here comes your leaders. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see who maybe get hung out to dry behind these lap cars, as it doesn't look like that outside lane is giving too much room to those cars on the inside. So keep an eye if this outside lane falls back the way they are. Some of these guys may be able to get back in front of them here, but here they come with a head of steam out of the corner, as it looks like your top 5 able to get to the high side of the racetrack and avoid those 2 lap cars coming on the bottom. But other than that, it looks like you're going to have a couple of guys getting stuck behind them, so they're going to have to try to use the draft of these lap cars to maybe draw up alongside somebody and be able to open up a gap to be able to get to that high side and get clear.
Have you noticed also that we're late into the afternoon, partly cloudy skies, and now it is completely grayed over the entire racetrack. The completely racetrack is shadowed over. Temperatures drop down to 77. Temp still the same for wind temperature, speed. Track temperature is back up to 91. It was 98 degrees, now down to 91. At one time it was up to 113. So the track temp is dropping, and honestly, virtually nightfall or day sunset is settling in here also at Talladega.
Yeah,
14 to go.
You can really see the difference in how much daylight we've been burning here today. As earlier, you could see just exactly how illuminated that pavement was, and now you can see with this partly cloudy conditions how overshadowed some of this racetrack is right now they're going to be hitting a part of the track that's actually still in the sunlight, but keep an eye on them as they come through 3 and 4. There's going to be a dark spot coming right out of turn number 4 towards the front straightaway. As you see right in here, just the amount of shadows that you're going to get, but it looks like we're going to catch a break in the clouds and make me a liar now, as it looks like things are going to get brightened up a little bit as the sun may have poked his head through some of these clouds, Wesley.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to see what takes place here as they're working their way back into turn number 1 and 2 at 12 to go. Playing patiently. Waiting.
And if you notice there, take a look at what happened there coming out as we ride on board with your leader with the swag onboard camera, the 46 a jump. He's going to come down into turns 3 and 4. He has absolutely nobody with him right now. But it was interesting, the 48 car that we saw up front who was a lap down, he had Brakey in the 29 car who is currently running third right in front of him. He went to the high side and allowed them drivers who are running in that top 5 of the 29 of Brakey and the 53 of Stamp to be able to get by him, get that position, you know, since they're racing for the lead and he's a couple of laps down. So kudos to Gomez in that number 48 machine, showing, you know, hey, I am a sportsman, you know, I'm not in this race, you know, you guys have a lot better shot at winning this race than I do. You know, I'm gonna get out the way, y'all go ahead, I'll tag in at the back.
Down the back straightaway. Boy, oh boy, when is it time to go? When will it become chaotic?
I think inside as we come around to the tri-oval and come back to the start-finish line, is the Brakey number 29 machine. He's going to go bonsai to the bottom to slam the door.
Look at Hop.
And it looks like Hop now going to try to make a run out of it as well.
And remember, he's a lap down there, Brett. He's the first car lap down.
Yeah, we got a lot of cars that are looking to possibly throw caution to the wind as we get inside 10 to go. You know, if a caution comes here, that's going to eat away a lot of this 10 laps. So this may be the point in time where we can see that Katie bar the door and people are going to start throwing the hot coals to the fire here. And I think we might be inside that go time, Wesley.
Time to rock and roll. Shake and bake, engaged. Slingshots, bonsais, blocks, and more. 10 to go. Now 9 remaining here at Talladega. And they're about to go 3 wide with Jump the Clown in the middle into turn 1.
But take a look at who led that last lap for the first time today. The number 4 car of Nick Massey in that Busch-sponsored Ford. He was able to push his way past Jump in that 46 car to be able to take the lead lap credit last time by. So that number 4 Mustang, he's looking like he's got something here at the end of this race, as he's been pretty quiet throughout most of it. He's just kind of been hanging out. And the 4 car looking to make a late race push here to the checkered, as he's got that 53 of Eric Stamp, who we saw make those drastic moves earlier. And Brakey in the 29, who's to his inside, he just made one about 2-3 laps ago. So a lot of these drivers, you know, not afraid to get a little bit chaotic with making these passes here, Wesley, as we get to the line to make 8 to go. I think within the next 5 laps we're going to see a lot of high action packed racing. So ladies and gentlemen, get your popcorn, get your beer, get your seat ready, and you ain't going to want to miss a thing, because this is about to get hot and heavy here at Talladega, as we got about 8-9 cars under a blanket coming down the back straightaway.
Couldn't have said that any better. Back in the turn at number 3, and they are 3 wide, 2 rows deep, led by Jump. Tran Jump made it into the playoffs by virtue of race finishes on points. Nick Massey having a net code issue in the 4 car. Second place, the 4. We noticed that last week also at Iowa when he came back and he won the darn thing. He is rallying in second. Hop, the lap car to the inside. Brakey there with him. Stamp behind the driver, Massey. And Gomez as well in 48. Door to door to door to door at full speed, like they're behind the toe of the pace car at full song there, Brett. 7 to go. 6 remaining when they come to the line here at Talladega.
Yeah, Nick Massey in that 4 car looking to get high, wide, and handsome through turns 3 and 4. He's looking for a little bit more of a push from that 33 of Stamp, as it looks like they're starting to lose a little bit of ground at that inside line as we come through the tri-oval. The 46 car going to be able to clear him, and now it looks like the 49, or I'm sorry, the 22 car of Hop, who is that lap down car. He is in between positions on this racetrack. The fourth place car of Breaky, who is now into the third position, he has that lap car in between them. So this lap car could play a little bit of a factor here, as I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe the 22 drop out down to the bottom of the inside of the racetrack to let these guys race for this win here. But then again, you gotta wonder, is Breaky going to be a little bit patient with it being restrictor plate racing, or is he willing to give that lap car a shot in the back bumper to try to move him up in front of Massey and be able to reel back into that leader's back bumper as we come around through the tri-oval and back to the line, as the flagman's going to have a full open palm right now as he's given the field 5 to go here at Talladega.
Ladies and gentlemen, 5 laps to go. 5 remaining for car number 46. Trenton Jump in the final spot for the championship 4 in this round 2 of the Relax Remodeling round of 8 for the Relax Remodeling 300. Hop, the lap car in the 22. He sits in 16th. He's right there in the dogfight with the leaders. Through 3. Single file, first 2 cars, door to door on back behind Massey and Moore. Through the tri-oval, slicing, dicing, wiggling, giggling, jiggling, bobbling, off of turn 4, to the line, 4 to go, and Jump still leads the battle in the 1.
Within 4 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, things are about to get hot and heavy. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a big one coming soon, as it looks like the 4 car of Massey going to have some connection issues there, and he's going to be side by side with that 29 of Breaky, who had connection issues coming out of turn 4 the last time by, as we're going to have 3 wide racing towards the back of this pack, and things are starting to get heated up, Wesley, and I don't know if these drivers are prepared for it, but we still have a lap car riding what would be P2 on the racetrack right now. So, as it looks like the 22 going to go to the high side now, just like I had predicted a couple laps ago, but that's going to cut off the 4 car of Massey's attempts now, so he's going to have to push the 22 car all the way in front of the 46 with enough space for them both to be able to clear, and it's going to be interesting to see if that 22 just gets, comes down in front of the 46. As we got one into the wall into turn 1, that's the 88 of Dyer.
Matt Dyer has cut a tire down, look like it's on the right front. He has hit the wall. His chances are out of winning this race. Let's watch what happened to him in the 88. No caution, by the way. Understanding, though, Brett, he had some help. Let's see what happened to him.
As it looks like we're going to go just about 4, almost 5 wide.
Gomez about got into the wall in front of him, and he had to check up and get on the binders.
Yeah, 5 wide doesn't really work with restrictor plate racing, and like I said, things are going to get hot and heavy here as we go live back to the front here and take a look at this. Out of nowhere, the 23 Crimson Tide sponsored Johnson, he's going to have that push from the 53 of Stamp. He's going to look to the outside of Jump. He's going to have the lead, so that Alabama Crimson Tide sponsor Toyota Camry of Johnson, he's looking to take Tuscaloosa here to the to Talladega and bring one home with that Alabama sponsored ride, as he's going to drop down in front of the 46 of Jump. But keep an eye on that 53 of Stamp, as he was looking fast. And almost trouble right in front of your leader.
Caution is out. We got a car spun on the bottom of the apron. I think it's the 38 car. In the 88, actually. The 88 of Matt Dyer spun on the bottom of the racetrack.
That almost spelled disaster for the whole entire front of this field here, as he almost took off the entire front bumper of that 23 of Johnson.
Replay. Let's see. What is he doing? I hope he was already spun around like that, not doing donuts. I don't know. We're going to have to check the replay one more time and see what was happening here. Let's watch him down at the bottom of the apron in the 88 car. Look. Do what?
Yeah, I'm at a loss for words on this one.
I don't know what to. Wow. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what was going on there with the 88 machine.
I hate to say this. I'm wondering if he might have intentionally brought out the caution flag. I do take into consideration that he did have a tire down. We're broadcasters. We're not officials. We'll let everybody know if we find out a different call here in a moment, but we will tell you one thing that is going to happen. That is overtime. Quick break. Back with more from Talladega. Overtime here on LSR TV. Boy, it's about to get good. Stick around.
There's a lot of esports leagues in iRacing, but there's nothing like swag. Special events, series sanctioning. The Simulation World Auto Group Swag is excited for you to become a member and join our team. Weekly competition includes Stadium Super Trucks, the Outlaw Super Late Model Series, the Short Track Cup All-Star Challenge, the Winter Heat during the winter months, and so much more. Special events and venues is also throughout the year. We want you to be a part of the team. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by looking up Swag Esports Racing and jump on board with the Shark. Big money, fun times. We want you to be a part of what is the new Simulation World Auto Group. All the details again on Swag Racing Esports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll see you at the virtual tracks across the world. And if not, follow broadcast coverage on LSR TV, the weekly racer in CRN Sports.
Wanted to clarify things with you before we come back to the broadcast. I just checked with the Adrenaline iRacing League officials and understanding that there will be a penalty issued on the 88 of Matt Dyer with what happened, bringing out the caution. Possibly a disqualification, Brett, on the 88 car. And that's disappointing after the great run he had.
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing, but, you know, I mean, like you said, I'm a racer and a broadcaster, but from my broadcasting professionalism, I don't want to, say, hey, it was intentional or no, it wasn't. But from my racer standpoint, it did look a little intentional. Not trying to point fingers or nothing here, but we're getting ready to go back green flag racing as the iRacing pace car. Sorry,
yes,
my dirt side came out of me there a little bit. The pace car going to pull down to the inside of the field. That's going to hand the field back to the 23 of Johnson as they're going to roll through the tri-oval. They're going to get back on the low pedal. You see a bunch of cars start to fan out. A little bit of tire smoke. It looks like a couple of drivers may have spun their wheels coming to the green as we're going to have the top 5 cars checked out. It's going to be the 23 of Johnson and the 46 of Jump looking to try to get a little bit of a run in through turns 1 and 2 as he's going to try to clear Johnson, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. As
we saw overtime go 3 times in the NASCAR Cup event at Talladega. This is overtime number 1 here for the Adrenaline iRacing League Cup Series. Remember, if they take the white flag, race is official. Roll, Tide, roll. Johnson leading the way. Jump in second. Here they come. Watching them as they come back through the tri-oval, back off of turn number 4 to the line. This time by Swag, 1 to go. Pick your poison. This is Talladega. May the best man win. Off to turn 1 for the final time there, Brett.
And here we go as you see cars getting a little bit impatient. They're starting to throw it down into spots where normally they wouldn't. As you see that 13 car with a full head of steam, that's Gretorix. He's trying to make a last-minute Dale Earnhardt style move. As the 46 car, he's going to go almost bonsai to the bottom as we roll into turn 3 and 4. It's going to be 3 cars on the bottom, Wesley.
Here they come through the final time into the tri-oval. Off turn 4, Johnson out in front. Everyone else holding their line. That's a long way late. That Swag 1 to go was supposed to have been a lap ago. We got trouble contact. Holy cow. Cars are correcting, flipping, crashing. We got a big crash. I don't even know the hell won. Johnson is going to win this race. Roll, Tide, roll. A massive crash in turn 4 on the tri-oval. Johnson will win.
And we're going to go back and take a look.
Several cars are wrecked. Let's look at this. Holy cow. The 25, is that Caleb Smith flying through the air? Satarja, man. Oh, man. Oh. Stafford all tore up. So many cars tore up here. Watch it one more time. On board with Stafford, the big wreck, and by the way, Johnson wins. This is, watch Johnson through the tri-oval. I do not like this camera angle. I wish we could change it up. I see Downing, I see Tom Bourne, I see Sajarja Mann, Stooksbury, Click Stafford. I wonder if we could change the camera view from coming to turn 4, because I don't like the pit camera. So much stuff happened right there.
It almost looked like the 25 car didn't even turn coming for the tri-oval. If you keep a look at him there, he's right behind that white and red number 46. As they're going to come into the tri-oval, he's just going to go from the bottom to the top, and he's going to hook the 13's front bumper. And it's just going to go chaos from there as you see cars just going everywhere. And we've got a big one coming to the checkered.
And we knew it was brewing. We knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when, and these guys said we're going to wait till the end. But anyhow, my favorite team of college football, Roll Tide Roll. Number 23, Johnson, picking up a win. Another driver that is not in the playoffs, getting his first career win on the Adrenaline Cup Series, and making it difficult for these drivers going to Vegas that are in the final opportunity of the 8 to go to the championship 4. Either they're going to have to win or it'll be decided by the virtue of the points. Craziness here. As always, this is Talladega. Let's take a look at the results for the Relax Remodeling 300 race results presented by SawBlade.com. Tanner Johnson picking up the win. 29 thousandths of a second over Eric Stamp. Trenton Jump will settle for third. Logan Breakey fourth. Gamera, Massey, Hope, Grant, Bourne. Man, even Crash finishes in the top 10.
Positions 11 through 20 is going to go away looking like this. Position number 11 going to go to the 9 car of Evan Coleman. Then it's going to be the 61 of Bronson Stafford, the 13 car of Austin Gretorix, the 25 of Caleb Smith, who you saw those two cars get the initial contact out of that last little incident there. Then in the 15th spot, you're going to see the 12 car of Dylan Browning. 16th is going to be Robert Kenny in that number 34. The 17th is going to be taken home by the 19 car of Tyler Stooksbury, and then Brockton Packard, Spencer Hardison, and Christian Gomez going to round out your top 20.
Matthew Rodriguez, Alex Walter, Matt Dyer, 7 laps down, possibly a disqualification coming on the 88 car. We'll have to find out more details on that. Andy McDowell, he had such a strong run earlier in the race, he'll have to settle for 24th. Calvin Gretorix and Shane Therian, the points leader of the series, having problems all day long here at Talladega. When we come back, we'll wrap things up quickly because I have some more other announcer obligations with iRacing. Top 3 drivers, we'll talk to them. We'll get ready to set the stage for Vegas next week. The final chance to get in to the Championship 4 in the Relax Remodeling Round of 8. LSR TV, your home for sim racing. Top 3 when we come back. We'll talk to him.
This broadcast is the copy.
Gamers hosting gamers worldwide, it is time for the Clan Wars servers post-race wrap-up after a wild one here in the Relax Remodeling 300 at Talladega. Top 3 drivers, Brett Rolls will talk to third and second. I'll speak to the winner. And again, third place is Trenton Jump, ever so closer to getting that first win on the series. Remember, he won the All-Star race back in June, right before Father's Day at Daytona. He's on the podium tonight, and our Brett Rolls is with him right now.
Jump, you had a pretty good points day today, as it looks like you coming into tonight, you're trying to get into the top 4, trying to lock in a pretty good run here, as looks like the points leader, Thiernan, had a little bit of a struggle today. How good of a points race was this for you coming in and seeing a couple of the top guys in points struggle?
I mean, it helps. I mean, I know there'll still be ahead, but I mean, I didn't get any stage points. I completely screwed up the first pit stop and almost went 2 laps down, but managed to get the lucky dog on the stage break and just came back and charged hard. I mean, I stick to the strategy. If you lead every lap, you can't lose a plate race, and I tried doing that today.
Tell you what, man, you definitely had a head full of steam. As you said, you came in early, tried to, get some stuff worked out there. You were heading towards the back there for a little bit, but you came through the track, came through the field pretty quick. You were pretty dominant up there towards the front. Take us through that last lap there, through the little bit of playoffs, or the overtime there. What was going through your head? Did you think that you were going to be able to have as much of a run coming through that tri-oval through the end? What was your strategy? Were you trying to get them in the tri-oval, or were you more set up for like 3 and 4?
I mean, coming to the light, I was just trying to get some help to go up top and get around them. I mean, no offense, but I'm here to win, but I didn't want to ruin their races as well. And then when I got left for dead, I got left back. Well, then the 2 cars that were going, they went high, so I dove back low and helped these guys. But the 29, 53, and teammate, or 23, they're all my teammate. We've had this strategy all week. We played to it, we stuck to it, and we finished first through fourth. We cannot ask for our day to go any better.
All right, man, I'm going to hand you the mic one more time if you want to give a shout out to everybody that helps you get things done behind the scenes.
Yeah, I just want to thank these guys for helping the way they did. I mean, I led majority of the laps for us today, but they really did a good job keeping us in it. I want to thank Justin at That Color Teal Designs for painting the cars that we run. Does a great job, and of course, you guys for broadcasting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's your third place finisher of Trenton Jump in the 46 machine. I'm going to take a quick stumble down here just a little bit further, and I'm going to come up to the second place finisher today of Eric Stamp. Eric, you had a pretty good run going for you here today. We saw you make some pretty drastic maneuvers there, going bonsai to the bottom there for a couple of positions. Strong throughout the course of the day as you and Jump were looking to make a tag team effort there and started pulling away from the pack with the draft. Do you think your car was strong enough to possibly come home a little bit better, or do you think maybe just a little bit of restrictor plate racing threw a little bit too much time in there with that lap car running second?
Yeah, the lap car running second played a huge role in that, because before the final pit stops in the green, Trent and I had it absolutely on lock. I was able to time the pushes just right so that I would get hot as soon as we get into 3, and the guys on the high side couldn't get clear, so we had control of the race the entire second stage. And then, yeah, just at the end, I told Tanner earlier this week that if it comes down to it, I'm pushing him to the win, and just happy to be able to actually live up to that promise.
All right, man, we're going to hand you the microphone one more time. We want to thank everybody that helps you get things done here for you.
Oh, yeah. Again, also thanking Teal from That Color Teal Graphics. Absolutely beautiful paint schemes. Got to thank the teammates, TJ, Trent, Logan, and teammate by proxy, Christian Gomez. We all drove a great race, and thank y'all for showing us to the world.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's your second place finisher tonight, Eric Stamp. I'm going to hand the microphone over to Wesley Outland, who's down in Victory Lane with Tanner Johnson.
Tanner Johnson, number 23, only fitting to win virtually here at Talladega. And the Alabama Crimson Tide, number 23. All I got to say, I'm a fan. Roll Tide, roll. Congratulations.
Thank you, Wesley. Hey, a league owner is not supposed to win their own race, man. Let me tell you about it. This number 23 Crimson Tide Toyota Camry was awesome. Our goal today was just to finish. I have not finished a single super speedway race in Adrenaline history, and to finally be able to finish it and in Victory Lane is insane.
So my question is this: Are you a Alabama fan? Is that why we had the car?
I am. My home track. I live in Alabama. Talladega's my home track, and it was very fitting to run Crimson Tide colors and be able to race at my home track. I was not happy when that yellow came out and having to do it all over again, and I was just happy to have good teammates. Eric Stamp, he's been my teammate since the beginning of the league starting, and I just want to thank him for pushing me to the win, especially my very first career win in a Cup car.
Did you have a feeling though that it was coming? I mean, it's been fairly clean. Obviously, the whole race only saw one caution at the end of the stage, but you literally bunched the pack back up like that. You have the big crash, but then of course. If we wouldn't have had that late race caution with Matt Dyer, do you feel that the race would have still ended having that crash to finish at the end, or do you think you would have had a different outcome? Could we be still talking to you in Victory Lane if that wouldn't happen?
I think that if the caution wouldn't have happened 3 laps to go, the wreck would have happened 3 laps ago. It would have happened at the line. The goal for our team, Colored Teal Motorsports, was to not wreck at the line, and we did just that. And we finished in the top 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I couldn't thank my teammates enough, and I couldn't thank everybody in Adrenaline for helping make this league what it is today. It's just an awesome day.
A fun time for sure when it's all said and done. The driver of the number 23, the man who is behind the Adrenaline iRacing League. Roll Tide roll. I know Nick Saban, Bear Bryant up in heaven, he'll be proud. 23, Tanner Johnson. Congrats, buddy. Thank you.
Again, thank you.
So again, the driver of Tanner Johnson winning. He's out of the playoffs. Another driver, just like what Massey did at Iowa, pulls the win here at Talladega. And for the drivers that are currently in the 4, before the points are reset, right now, Shane Therian, Bronson Stafford, Satarj Mann, and Trenton Jump will work their way into Vegas next Sunday for their final shot to make it in by a win to the championship 4, or will it be decided by virtue of points? Brett Rolls, your final thoughts, buddy, before we wrap it up and head on out of here.
Honestly, I think it was a pretty good race. I think this race was a lot more patient than any of the Cup racing leagues that I've seen as of lately. Not a lot of guys trying to get a little too overconfident with what they've got early on. We saw a lot of single file bumper-to-bumper racing rather than 2 to 3 wide racing. First of all, got to congrats to Mr. Johnson on his first ever win. I remember my first ever Cup win being at Daytona in the Monday Night Cup Series. So it's always fun to get your first win, especially when it's at a super speedway race, because just the amount of animosity that you have throughout the entire course of that race is just awe-inspiring. And then to be able to find yourself in victory lane and it be your first win, it's a pretty big deal. It takes a lot of talent to run super speedway racing and to be able to keep up with that draft.
And again, we're on to Vegas. They always say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Virtually, we'll see if that's reality, except for 4 drivers that'll run for Phoenix for the championship. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage again tonight of the Relax Remodeling 300 here from Talladega. When it's all said and done, Tanner Johnson winning. For executive producer Charles Wooten, for, of course, Brett Rolls, I'm Wesley Outland. Next broadcast is tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, the No Limit Racing Series from Charlotte Motor Speedway, America's home for racing, even virtually. Thanks for following us, as always, at LSR TV, LiveSimRacing.com, and LSR TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. God bless you all. Please keep on praying for America and all of our leaders. Take care.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSR TV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSR TV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.